Hi there, I'm David from Datasaurus Rex, and in today's video we're going to look at some amazing content by some 13 to 15-year-olds who have been using Tableau to tell some amazing stories. So let's dive in. At this year's Tableau Data Day Out in Singapore, I had the honour of judging the Data Stories of Singapore competition for the secondary high school and junior college category. This involved students competing to build insightful, well-designed visualizations that inform the user with a strong and compelling narrative. And I have to state, these were incredibly hard to judge just because they were all really awesome, especially given the context that these are all like 13 to 15-year-olds. I know adults twice their age who aren't building great data-driven narratives like this, even today in a profession where they're paid to do this kind of stuff. So even though there were placements, first, second, third winners and stuff, every entrant is a winner here because the skills they're going to bring to the workforce are going to serve them so well and they're going to get some great jobs out of it. So without further ado, let's just quickly dive in, see each one, but if you want to know more, check out the links in the description below. You'll be able to click on the vizzes and play around with them yourself. Okay, so this was Team BUONA from Illinois Junior College, which got first place. Now, I love how each page focuses on just kind of one area or one insight, so the user doesn't get distracted. The headers are clearly labeled, so we know what we're looking at and what insight we're going to gather by looking at the data visualizations. They also have a great use of the hover text help icon to give you a little bit more information on demand as a user, which is a cool way of doing that without cluttering up the data visualization with lots and lots of text. So if the user is interested, they can quickly find out more. They also make really good use of custom shapes and dashboard filters. So quickly here, if I click on hospitals, I know I'm going to see hospitals. And they clearly label this, so I know how to interact with the chart immediately. Also, they built a freaking subway map using Tableau's map and path functionality. So not only do we get an insight into how many stations per line are being made, we actually get the context of where they're coming from. Oh, and I've just seen they've got by year as well, so we can actually scale it back. This is cool stuff. I'm really digging this. I'm going to have to check this out more. Overall, the story flowed really well, and with financial data, it's very easy to make it a very dry and boring topic. So I love the way they've actually taken the initiative and brought in extra data points, which give it a more human focus, such as this happiness index. We round it off nice with a great conclusion, and it's easy to see why this won first place, especially with their live presentation when the students presented it to me. They were very impressive. They were articulate, confident, and a pleasure to listen to. So great work here. Second place was See More, Hear More by the Nanhua High School. They looked at foreign workers versus domestic workers, and they start off with a very great thought-provoking statement here, basically saying a lot of Singaporeans aren't too keen on foreign workers coming in, expats. Although every Singaporean I've met is lovely, so I can't really comment to this living here. They set the scene really well, quickly explaining how the foreign workforce has grown quite a bit, not only in terms of absolute numbers but also percentage growth, although I maybe would have used a year-over-year line graph, but again with the clear labeling it works really well. We also like how they've taken the time to color code the data points, so orange is resident workforce and blue is foreign workforce. So the cognitive load I have to employ is far less to just rather than going back and forth versus each of these legends. I quickly know that orange is resident workforce and blue is foreign workforce. It makes it that much more intuitive. Again, the titles tell a great story. However, there's a few minor things, like you should only really choose shapes, custom shapes, when they add something to the viz. So having notes here for GDP money, great, but it's not adding stuff, and actually it makes it a little bit harder to see where the actual point lands. But again, minor thing, but just something to be aware of when you're building data visualizations. But overall, the underlying structure, narrative, and its presentation is very solid. So good work here. Third place, Midnight Burner team from the Raffles Institution looked at gender inequality and inclusiveness in Singapore. Seems to be a common theme here, but they've made great use again of action filters within a dashboard. The logos themselves are a little bit hard to figure out what they are, but thankfully they have great tooltips just to help you figure out which one is which. And you can see that there's a clear difference between females doing a lot of occupational, like clerical work, whereas males dominate more the IT professionals, banking, and scientific areas. I also do like how they've put the insights on the page. However, one could argue it's better suited to putting them right at the top, so it's the first thing the reader sees. So they kind of, again, get what the page is on about, and then use of data visualization to kind of back it up and help cement that insight. The diverging lollipop chart is a great technical addition here too. It's really always a good way to show trends from different dimensions, here the genders, over time, but also their discrepancy. Also, I feel this is a good use of a waffle chart. It's just meant to show a rough proportional representation of the genders in different parts of the Singapore Parliament and civil service. Again, none of these are 50%, some of them are even sort of 0 or 5%, so this is a very confronting insight, but again, it's a great way to represent it, because people immediately go, oh, wait, where's the pink in this? Why is it all blue? The only other minor point I'd make is potentially the use of some charts. I would kind of argue that maybe a line chart would be better suited here, so we can kind of see the trends by gender over time on top of each other, how they compare more easily. And here, just a color legend might have just helped make this chart a little bit easier to read, because I find I have to keep going up and down to figure out which one I'm looking at. But again, it was a great dashboard and a great presentation from the team here, as I feel I've come away with a much better understanding of the topic, which is always a winner in my mind for a data visualization and data-driven narrative. Third and fourth place also did really well. If you want to see my thoughts on these, I've written a blog post, look at these as well. But like I said, they were all winners here, because these were all amazing, especially considering their age. There was also another competition stream which I didn't judge, which was individual contributors at the university level. Again, I highly recommend you go check out my blog, which highlights these as well, as they're all amazing entries. And there we go, this is just showcasing some of the amazing work kids are doing with data visualization. It's incredible what they can do at this age with tools like Tableau, where, as I've mentioned before in other videos, and drive really compelling data-driven narratives. I'm excited to see what these kids pump out in the future, and I hope it's inspired you too, because if 13 to 15-year-olds can do great stuff like this, there's no excuse for you guys not to either. Thank you very much.